Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Partnering with WPS webinar. My name is Bailey Lawson. I'm one of the specialists on the Provider and Outreach Education team, or PO team, at WPS, and I'll be your speaker today. Assisting me today is my friend and colleague, Mary Muko. You've heard her jump in here. She will be monitoring the chat and helping me during the webinar. I do have some housekeeping to share with you before we get started today. You do have training material. We do, rather, have training materials available on our website. So if you have not yet downloaded the presentation for today's event, you can do so by going to our Training Center webpage. I see Mary has added that into the chat for you as well, if you want to go that way. It is on our live events webpage where there is a link to the presentation materials for today's event. You can also send your questions and comments into the chat, and Mary will monitor that for me. And of course, following our event today, you'll be able to tell CMS and WPS how we did or what else you would like to see on a brief survey, which is specifically to get our learners' feedback. This doesn't have to be specific to Medicare. It can be something like what you're attending today if you think that would be helpful to you. We begin our event today with this disclaimer. We include this disclaimer in all of our events. We do so in order to remind learners, although we've made every effort to provide current information that is correct, it is subject to change. It is on our CMS website where you will find those laws, regulations, and rulings that determine final coverage, and it is those that will always prevail. Just as a reminder, CMS does prohibit recording of this presentation for profit-making purposes. We are recording it and will have this as an encore, so if you do want to go back, you will have the opportunity to do so. It will be on our encore presentation page as well as on our YouTube channel following this event. It will just take a few days to see that. All right. So getting started, today we are going to talk about partnering with WPS. What this will include is an explanation of what a partner is to WPS, what the guidelines are, and how you can request a partnership with WPS. We will also go into detail. We will go into detail on all of this. We do have this event scheduled for 30 minutes, but we may wrap up early, just as a heads up to you. Okay, so we are going to start off by defining a partner. What is it? Who are they? What is the purpose? I have added here the CMS Internet Only Manual that writes all of this out in CMS's words. You can access it by clicking on the hyperlink in the course materials. So that says CMS Internet Only Manual, or I'm going to also have Mary add that to the chat. So you can just click that link that way as well. Another way you are able to see this is if you somehow lose access to those things or you can't obtain this link. It's on the WPS website under the Training Center tab up in the blue ribbon at the top of the webpage. On the Training Center, you will see a box that says Partner with Us on that page. It's the first hyperlink you'll see. So we have that out there on the WPS website for you if you somehow lose this. Remember, though, that this hyperlink will take you to an external site. This is housed on the CMS website, not WPS's, just so you're aware. The purpose of a partnership is to establish a collaboration in efforts to distribute Medicare program information to providers through a variety of sources. These education efforts may include, but are not limited to, including information from partners in newsletters or publications, reprinting and distributing provider education materials, disseminating provider information or education materials at organization meetings and functions of partnering entities, scheduling presentations or classes for members of partnering entities, requesting information for Medicare providers be posted on the website of partnering entities, helping partnering entities develop their own Medicare provider education and training material, partnering with other MACs to educate providers that may cross MAC jurisdictions, collaborating with other MACs to educate ordering or referring providers on such things as documentation requirements for items or services such as ordering or referrals for tests, imaging procedures, durable medical equipment or DME, prosthetics, orthotics and supplies, and home health services, especially when ordering or referring provider is in a different MAC jurisdiction than servicing provider. Those are CMS's words. So you can see that right there in that internet only manual. Now, who is included? There are several entities who do qualify for for partnerships. Medical professionals or trade groups and associations, government organizations, educational institutions, trade and professional publications, specialty societies, and other interested or affected groups. Now that we have established the purpose and the who, let's go into the guidelines. I have added this chart for your viewing pleasure. It lays out the guidelines and requirements for partnerships with WPS. I have the partnering with WPS page that's on the WPS website hyperlinked in the words on your handouts, we want to partner with you. If you just click on that, it'll take you right to the page, but I'm also going to have Mary add that link in the chat for you. So you can see the chart itself on the website if you again, somehow don't have access to this handout anymore. But let's take a look. Although it's self-explanatory, I do want to go over it. So you can see it goes education type, material or presentation length, and minimum number of people. The first education type we have is teleconference. This is not so popular anymore, but the material or presentation length would be 15 to 20 minutes, and the requirement for the minimum number of people is 25. Face-to-face, we do have this listed in here still, but right now we are on a pause with that. There's a travel ban, so we're not at this moment allowed to do face-to-face. But if we were to, it would be a 2-hour presentation, or anywhere from that to a multi-day event. And the minimum amount of people required for that would be 50 if that does start up again. Our most popular type of partnership is a webinar. It is 15 minutes to 2 hours is the presentation length, and our minimum number of people required for that is 25. We can also provide a recording for you of any length, and there's no minimum amount of people because it's a recording. And also the same with written material. The length depends on the type of content that you're looking for, and there's also no minimum for that. Requesting a partnership. So you're interested in partnering with WPS, now what? Well, we have a partnership request form for you. I have linked that directly in the handout materials again, so you can just click partnership request form. It can also be found on that partnering with WPS webpage that Mary has linked in the chat for you before. You just scroll down and it's under the headline, how to request a partnership. This will take you to a page where the PDF is housed. You will fill that PDF out, and I can show you what that looks like. Make that bigger for you. So this is our partnership request form. And this is what you'll see. This is that PDF that you find out in our WPS website, partnering with WPS. So you'll take the time to fill this out. Just scroll for you just so you can see. It's 3 pages, but it's checking boxes and filling out things. So it's very quick. And once you have that filled out, you'll take that PDF and you'll send it to our education mailbox, which you've heard that before. It's wps.gha.education@wpsic.com. And Mary has put that in the chat for you as well. Be sure to include your desired topics that you would like to see WPS do education on, when you would like the event to be, and how many people will attend. Keep in mind that WPS can't confirm attendance more than 6 months prior to the event. So just when you are saying when the event is, we may get back to you and say we can't confirm this. So just when you are sending it in, keep the 6-month time frame in your mind. Once you have submitted all of that information, please allow 10 days for review of everything. There is a whole process that happens on our end and a lot of moving parts, so it will take a bit. I also do want to show you, because I realize it may be a little difficult to understand where I'm talking about. If you're trying to find this on your own, I want to be you to be able to find this. So I'm going to pull over the WPS website, and I'm just going to show you where you can locate these things, so you can do it by yourself freehand rather than having to look at notes. So this is the WPS website. You'll choose your jurisdiction. That box will pop up. I have gone to the website before today, so the jurisdiction was already chosen. I'm in J5 MAC Part B. You'll go up to Training Center up here in the blue ribbon that I was talking about. And this is our training center. This is everything you need, but this is what we're talking about today. Partner with us. So the box will look like this. It's your green box. You'll click that. And this has everything we've talked about today as well. So if you want to look through that yourself, outside of, if you're more of a visual more of a visual, you are a visual learner, so you need a visual representation of it, it's all right here. So that CMS internet only manual I was talking about, here it is. And if you see how this little box with the arrow is in it, when you click it, that means it's taking you to an external site when you see that box and the arrow. And this is the internet only manual I was talking about. So I believe it's 20.2. Yep. And so I don't want to scroll too fast, but I'm going to scroll down to kind of show you what you'll see. Here we are. Scrolled right past it. Partnering with external entities and with other MACs. So you'll see this is the list I read you of what information and education can be offered. That's the list. And you can kind of read through that. This is all of CMS's words. So that's that internet only manual. And we kind of have some things highlighted here for you. Here is the partnership guidelines. This is that chart I added in there for you. Remember, face-to-face is not happening right now. Unfortunately, we do love seeing all of your beautiful faces, but we can't right now. How to request, and that's this right here. So you can see, here's the request form, and it'll take you out to this request form. And this is where you'll click for the PDF. So you'll click download, and that's that PDF I showed you earlier. Go back. Oh, and it shows, not on this page, I thought it did, but here, right here, this is the education email. In case you forget where to send it, this is where you want to send it. And then when you are sending it, make sure you indicate partnership request and the state in which the event will take place, just so we know jurisdiction and that your partnership, that you are requesting a partnership. And then this is kind of irrelevant to us right now because, like I said, face-to-face is not available right now. But when it is, this is all the information you need. So it covers partnership expenses and reimbursement and how you can provide that reimbursement. And then information on a follow-up. For CMS reporting purposes, we do ask that you have your attendees complete a survey for us. This helps CMS to know partnerships are successful, what we're educating on, what other partners need, what the partners may need education on. It also helps us with being able to partner with you guys. So make sure that when you are partnering, that is something that is made available to attendees so that we can continue partnering and we know where the education needs to be. Okay, so that does conclude the information I have for you on partnering. So I'm going to throw it over to Mary. Did we end up having any questions in the chat?
Bailey, we have not received any questions in the chat, but I did add some information to the chat based on very popular questions in the past, if I might just slip this in. One thing that you need to do when requesting topics, and Bailey showed you the partnership request form, is you need to be really specific about what you want WPS to educate on. Please do not just simply tell us updates, because everything we do is updates. We do this via, articles on our website and news items and so on and so forth. So the best way we can help you is for you to be really specific about the topics that you want us to talk about. And Bailey's showing that to you right now. We do have some that are listed because they're popular requests. For example, top rejections and top denials. We can actually pull data and we can drill it down to not just your state or your specialty, but we can also drill down to county if that's the information you're seeking. We can reveal the most common rejections, the most common denials. We can provide information to you about how to correct them or avoid them, and so on and so forth. The other question that we often receive is whether or not we can facilitate a partner presentation for a single provider. And the answer to that is no, because in the CMS instructions, they're pretty specific about POS activities, provider outreach and education's activities, as compared to customer service. Provider outreach and education is responsible for widespread education. Customer service answers your inquiries, your letters, your telephone calls, your emails that have specific questions, provider specific or claim specific. They have access to claims data, or not data, but claim history that we in provider outreach and education do not have access to. So that's why we ask you to call customer service with those provider specific or claim specific questions. So getting back to whether or not we can facilitate a presentation for your large group. The answer to that, and what you really need to look at, is do you operate with multiple tax ID numbers? If so, then you're considered not just one entity or one provider, but multiple providers, and thereby that makes you a partner. If you bill, or if your organization bills under more than one federal tax identification number, then you would qualify as a partner, as opposed to Dr. Smith operating by himself at his place of business. So just a couple of things that I wanted to throw in, and Bailey, I'm doing so because I've done a number of partner events. I love partnering with societies and organizations where we can really focus on the needs of that particular partner group, So for example, I've done presentations for oncology, I've done presentations for mental health providers, and so on and so forth, foot care, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of times those professional societies and organizations that represent a particular specialty that send in these requests. Bailey, I'm not seeing any more questions. Please do place your presentation related questions into the chat. We want to help you and answer all your questions. In the meantime, Bailey, I'll throw it back to you so that you can continue on with some things that we need to let this audience know about.
Thank you, Mary. I was going to ask you for your insight because Mary is the partnering queen of the PO team. So thank you for your insight. All right. So in a few minutes, you will receive an email with the subject that says, "Thank you for attending." Do not delete this without reading it. This contains your certificate of achievement. And this is a screenshot of what that looks like. And you can see right here under the certificate of achievement, this has all of the information you need for your CEU if you should need that. If you don't see it, the email that is, make sure to add WebEx, the WebEx email, to your safe sender list. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but if make sure you add that, because sometimes it can go to your junk, it can go to your spam. So just check both of those things if you're not seeing the email, and add WebEx's email to the safe sender list. It's the same email of which the reminder emails came from. If you called in from a phone and followed along on the handout materials and weren't actually in WebEx, you'll receive an email that says, "Sorry, we missed you." This is just because you didn't register with your phone number, you registered with an email. So WebEx doesn't realize you've attended because it's looking for that email and not that phone number. That's not a problem. If you just email wps.gha.education@wpsic.com, the one we've been placing in the chat for you, and put the webinar's name and date as the subject, and just in the email, let us know what number you called in from, and we can get that certificate to you once we verify the attendance. If you do think of any additional questions, even after the event is complete, have no fear, because you will have 7 days from today to submit them. Send it to that education email box. Again, I'll say it again, wps.gha.education@wpsic.com, and it's been in the chat multiple times as well. Put today's date and partnering with WPS in the subject line. This will ensure that that email goes to the right person, me, and it won't get lost in the shuffle, and we'll know what you're referring to. Keep in mind, all claim-specific questions will need to go to customer service. I do want you to make note of the changes we have made based on your survey comments. So we do take what you say in those end of events surveys seriously, and we are committed to improving our efforts and your education experience. This includes things like YouTube chapters, and if you don't know what those are markers we put in our videos that indicate a topic change, so you can move through the video and find what you're looking for quicker. So if you're looking today, like in terms of today's event and what will eventually be the encore, if you're like, where do I find the partnership request form again? And you can hover over the line and it'll tell you where to go, so you don't have to watch through the whole video or put in guesswork for that. And we have also added training indicators to our WebEx webinar descriptions. This helps you aid in seeing if the education is relevant to you or not. So we have taken your comments and we've applied it to help you out and make your experience the best it can be. So please do take a few minutes now to provide your feedback on the event you just attended. Tell us what you liked, what we could do better, and suggest topics for future educations. It doesn't have to be Medicare specific. It can be something similar to this event if you think it'll be beneficial to you. We want to know. Your feedback really is invaluable to us and ensuring education that is timely and effective. There are different options to take that survey depending on your preference and what's easiest for you. You can use the link in the chat that Mary just placed there, or when you exit the webinar, you'll be asked to go to an external site. The message will look like the picture shown here with the yellow triangle. It's just alerting you that it's taking you to another site, an external site. It'll just take a couple of minutes to complete this, so please leave me your feedback. I'd really appreciate it. And with that, on behalf of myself, Mary, and Provider Outreach and Education, thank you so much for your participation. We look forward to your survey comments and hope to have you join us for future events. Have a great rest of your day and a great week. You may now disconnect.